Mayfield, 22 of 36, 337 and 3 touchdowns. That's sad right there from the Eagle fan. You were just in the Super Bowl. Jason Kelce emotional as he leaves the field. Probably the final game of his Hall of Fame career. 32-9, the Bucs win it. They are off to Detroit to play the Lions. No, that's a sentence I said. The Bucs are off to play the Lions.
In Detroit.
Baker Mayfield, first quarterback in Buccaneers playoff history to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, winning in his first postseason start with the franchise. And I don't know if you remember this, but the GLA played football down there in Tampa. All 3 of his touchdowns came against man coverage, his most in any game this season. Winners talk first.
There's something about whether it's you're an underdog or a road game, just having your backs against the wall and knowing it's just your team versus everybody else when you're counted out. And it's always fun to be in that role. Obviously, I'm pretty comfortable in it, but our team has completely embraced that throughout the year.
Mike, so many people doubted this team and didn't think that you would be at this point. What can you say about the fight of this group to now be headed to the divisional round of the playoffs?
We kept our head down and just kept working. We knew that we had talent. A lot of guys stepped up today and made huge plays for us, and we're looking forward to the next round.
What can you say about Baker Mayfield, your quarterback that has that grit and the scrappiness to him that seems to have dispersed to the rest of the team?
He gets us going. He gets us going. He makes a lot of plays for us. He's a super underrated player, and we're happy about him.
Why does this team have a chance to continue on in the playoffs?
Because we just find ways to win. We got a lot of great talent on this team, but we play hard and we fight for each other.
You're going to see Detroit. You saw them already this year in Week 6. What needs to be different this time around?
We got to execute. Less penalties and execution, and I like our chances.
Are you enjoying this?
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All smiles for Mike Evans, and understandably so. The offense does its part. Head coach Todd Bowles made his living on the defensive side. Asked about the manner in which the 11 on that side stepped up on Monday night.
Good to see the guys playing hard.
You were masterful on 3rd down. 0 of 9 the Eagles had, and also 0 of 2 on 4th down. What was the key on stopping their 3rd down and even their 4th down plays?
Not getting them in 3rd and short, number one. Had a package where we created just to get some pressure on them, to kind of confuse them up front a little bit, and the guys were playing hard.
To help negate the Eagles' running game, you really shut it down for them. Just speak to that creativity and going to that approach, which has been a bit unconventional for you to use that much in the game.
Well, there's some big guys up front. As you know, the last time we played them, they got over 200 yards rushing. We're bound not to let that happen again, so we make sure we put some calls in to try to scheme up some things and get them out of it a little bit.
Todd, Baker could have had an even bigger day. There was about 6 drop passes up there, I think, in the first half. But for what he has done to come in here, throw 3 touchdowns, be the defending champion, what can you say about him?
He was sharp. I mean, the whole game he was sharp. Like you said, they dropped some balls, but he kept coming back. He kept going to them. He was putting the ball in only a place where they could catch it. He didn't turn it over. They kept making play after play after play. He did a hell of a job.
It seemed like on the bench he was encouraging his guys to keep coming to you. He was very positive. I know he's always like that, but was he particularly upbeat, keeping those guys up to it?
I thought all those guys were upbeat. I think Tristan was upbeat. Everybody on the sideline was upbeat. Offense, defense, special teams. Everybody was into it. Everybody was helping each other out. It was a good team win.
It seemed like every time that Philadelphia might try to get some momentum, your team came up with a big play. What does that say about how prepared they were today?
They were ready to play. You know, we're not going to go in there trying to play for a tie. We were going for the win. We know we're underdogs. We'll be underdogs next week, too. We understand that. We embrace it. We like it. Them guys come up play after play. We'll enjoy the night. We'll get going tomorrow in Detroit.
Kate Otten, Trey Palmer, David Moore all made huge plays, not your top 2 guys in terms of Godwin and Evans. Can you talk to how those guys impacted the game and how they've been all season?
It's a credit to those guys working to get open. It's a credit to Mike and Chris drawing guys away from them, and Baker finding them. So they did a hell of a job finishing plays, especially the run after catches with Moore and Palmer, and turn them into touchdowns. So that was outstanding.
Can you speak to the importance of that sequence at the end of the 3rd quarter with Anthony Nelson getting the safety and then the touchdown to Trey Palmer on the 2 plays later?
That was huge because at that point I think it was a 1-score game. I think it was 16-9. We had them backed up. A relentless pass rush kept going and going for Nelson. He just comes up with play after play after play at the right time. And then we get a score after that. They kind of opened it up a little bit and gave us a little bit of cushion. And, that was outstanding.
The wait to hear from Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni is over. Asked about the struggles for his offense, particularly early in the first half.
Yeah, we were just a little out of sync, obviously. We had the big play to Devontae. Besides that, we were just a little bit out of flow. That's always going to start with me. Wasn't good enough. Obviously, we're not putting them in good enough positions. And so, sometimes when you're in second and long and third and long, you're not continuing drives, it's easy to look at the stat sheet and say, they didn't run it enough. But, there's things that aren't being accounted for. You're in second and long. You're in third and long. There's nothing to say that you can't run it there, but it's going to be harder to pick up a first down in those scenarios. So whenever you're out of flow like that and not in sync like we were, it's going to be hard to get your carries when you're behind the sticks. And we had a 2-minute drive there as well. So, hey, listen, we need to be able to run it more. Obviously, we weren't able to today to get into a flow, and that's on me. Obviously, we were in a big slide, and anytime that's the case, I always look at myself first, and I didn't do a good enough job. And obviously we lost 5 of the last 6 and lost today. And it's almost like you couldn't get out of the rut we couldn't get out the rut we're in, and that's all of us. We'll all have to look ourselves in the mirror and accept that, and just find answers, find solutions. But obviously, when you start 10-1. And then you get into what happened for us. Obviously, that the expectations were high. Expectations were even higher when we started off 10-1, and we fell into a skid. So I'll look at everything. I'll look at, obviously the play calling. I'll look at the, the scheme. I'll look at, practices. I'll look at everything that we're doing because, I think that the past 2 years, did some things. We got hot a little bit at the end, and then this year wasn't that case. So anytime that's the case, you're going to look for answers in those scenarios, because it's not always the answer isn't always like, okay, we finished hot last year, lost our last game, do the same thing. You got to be able to adjust. We did some adjusting to things, but we'll look at everything. Yeah, I mean that's a little premature to talk through that. Everybody in that locker room's hurting right now. Coaches, players, staff, everybody in that locker room's hurting. And my job right now is to be there for them, be there for the guys. We'll get into all that. I'm not there yet, but we're hurting right now. It's tough to go out, the way we did this. Hats off to the Bucs. They had a good game plan. They did a good job. But my mind right now is not there. I got a lot of time to think about that. My mind right now is on the locker room, the guys, the coaches, all those things.
You see the Eagles since week 13, and it's astounding. Their NFL rank, winning percentage, the opponent's points per game, the margin, and the turnover margin. They're either second to last or dead last in the National Football League. Let's say the eye in the sky don't lie. Those numbers don't either, and it's why their season has come to an end here in Tampa. The Buccaneers win 32-9. I said this to Joe and Troy, Ryan. So much of this year, and things change, but we talked a ton about Dallas, and at times they were awesome. At times Philadelphia was awesome. The NFC East has got nobody playing next week, and they both get trounced. From your vantage point of what happened, Philadelphia's 10-1. And then, like, Boomer and TJ, the best to ever do football on our network or anywhere else. What they say, once is an accident, twice is a trend, 3 times is a problem.
Yeah.
Well, 6 out of 7 is, I don't even know, it means your season's done.
Yeah.
What happened?
This team totally fell apart, and there were telltale signs when this team was 10-1, but we started attributing the wins to that championship medal, to having guys that could show up in the most important moments, but they never fixed the problems. They never fixed the fact that they didn't have the run game they had the year before. They never fixed the fact that defensively they weren't a good tackling team. They weren't a team that was putting pressure on the quarterback the way that they did last year.
Yeah.
And then as they started to lose a couple of pieces, I felt like they also started to lose confidence. And when you watch this team tonight, and you even were standing on the sideline late in the second half, late in the game, there was one team that believed they could win tonight more than the other, and that was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because of what they had put on film the last 6 weeks as compared to what the Philadelphia Eagles had.
It's instructive as you look back, and it's always easy to look back and go, we should have connected the dots. But, hey, cool, you beat Washington twice in big comebacks and show the fight.
But you were losing.
They were horrible. They won 4 games. They're picking second, and you had to pull rabbits out of hats to beat your division rival twice because you were down double digits to them. And then now you look back and go, wow, I mean, they were telling us, right? When somebody tells you what they are, you should believe them. Well, now we got no choice but to believe what Philadelphia is because their season is done. Tampa's is not. The big plays that they made, I know you can kind of illustrate. I guess part of it's the side that they're playing against, helping them facilitate it.
Again, the cool part about us doing the pregame and postgame is the conversations we have during the games, right? And we talked about the fact that Tampa Bay was able to exploit Philadelphia in places that they were deficient, and that's tackling. And you sort of let those things go. And you look when they made the decision to go from Sean Desai to Matt Patricia. You thought that Matt Patricia would get some of those things changed. They actually got worse schematically and as far as pursuit, effort, and tackling. None of that changed. None of that became a positive, and that's why you have the result you have tonight.
And it's incredible. That first one you show was more. That's after Evans dropped a touchdown. You think you missed your chance. You can't afford to let those go in a playoff game. Nope, 2 plays later they score a touchdown because the Eagles can't tackle anybody. Tampa Bay gets to play Detroit next week. They played them earlier in the year, but as this night proved, what happened early in the year doesn't necessarily matter. What stands out in terms of that matchup?
You know, we spoke a lot about this Tampa Bay defense. I believe you even picked Tampa Bay because you thought this defense would step up.
That's what I said.
And they did, right? They played extremely well. We spoke to Antoine Winfield after the game. It's a different beast you're playing next week when you play the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff is playing at an extremely high level. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery in the backfield making huge plays both in the run game and the pass game. And we can't forget to mention Sam Laporta, who's a Pro Bowl player as a tight end as a rookie, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, who makes a huge play on 2nd and 9 late in the game. And I want to say this. There could have been a holding call on Cam Sutton on the Puka Nacua incompletion.
Okay.
Right? Sean McVay has an opportunity to make a decision. Yes, I don't want to go for it on 4th and 14 either. But you know the way that the Detroit Lions can milk the clock late in the game. When Dan Campbell gets 2nd and 9, there's no one in America that doesn't know he wants that first down. He wants to finish with that ball in his hand with an opportunity for Jared Goff to kneel in victory formation, and they went out and did it. He's believed in this team before they believed in themselves.
And as Goff told me on SportsCenter last night, when that call came in, he's like, let's go, baby. He knew what they were going to do, get the first down and take knees. 2 important things to sort of account for before we say so long to Ryan. Number 1, Jason Kelce did not meet with the media. A lot of questions about what his future will be and if this was indeed the end. And the other really important thing, Mr. Winfield did not have on a shirt. Ryan Clark does.
I do have on a shirt, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not on TV naked.
When you're an all-pro safety, though, you can come out just be nearly butt-ass naked. He actually had a suit on, very handsome.
I'm an NFL analyst. I can't come out here with my chest open like Louis Riddick.
Ryan Clark, ladies and gentlemen. And Antoine Winfield has joined me here. Sky Umal, give you a little go for love right out of the gates. Congratulations on this victory tonight. All the guys on Countdown, we all picked you. I said I think it's the defense that carries the heaviest load tonight, and you guys truly step up, whether it was bringing blitz after blitz, getting them off the field on 3rd down. We just heard some of your head coach, Todd Bowles, talking about it. In terms of the points of emphasis for you, the 11 on defense, what was the number 1 thing you wanted to try to do to Philly tonight?
The first and foremost, the thing was to stop the run. I believe they ran the ball on us about 40 times last game. And
200 plus.
Yeah. So that was our goal, number 1, stop the run and try to make them one-dimensional.
You managed to do that. It's interesting looking back at week 3 when you play them. We know that they're a different team, and there was a lot made of that. But you all were too. You come in having won 5 of 6. What changed for you all in the last month and a half of the season that allowed not just to make the playoffs, but to perform at the level you did this evening?
Yeah, really our mindset. I feel like early on in the season, we kind of trained ourselves for playoff mode football, and I feel like that's going to go a long way for us as we move forward. But just training our mindset that every week is a playoff game. It's win or go home.
And it kind of wasn't it?
Yeah, it was win or go home during the season, so now we're kind of using that.
That's interesting. It's a bit like Buffalo in the AFC. You guys didn't have a lot of wiggle room. Now, granted, the division you were in, it was going to come down to the end, and it was a matter of who could win the most games, but you all did. So winning leads to more winning. Like the confidence that existed in that locker room coming out to the field tonight, how do you describe that?
Yeah, we knew same mindset. It's win or go home, but it's real this time. And, we came out here confident, and we had a great game plan, and we came out here and just executed well.
All anyone wants this time of year is 60 more minutes on the clock,
That's
right?
it.
And I mean, I'm sure you guys get sick and tired of practice. Everybody's beat up. It's the January. I get it. But now the 60 more minutes that you have to work with, I get that you enjoy it for the moment, but what will be the focus in the prep leading up to going into Detroit, another team you saw earlier in this year, and the result I don't think is really even worth mentioning because you guys are different from now, but the focus is what?
Focus is once we go in, we got the same mindset that we got to attack the day, and we got to correct everything that we did wrong in the first time when we played them and just go from there.
I do have to ask one thing because I know it's a team game, but there were some awards that, frankly, you were not on that was ridiculous. But the fact that you're first team All-Pro at safety, to get that recognition, which I know means a great deal. For you, what satisfaction is there for you in that, to see your name with that accolade next to it?
Yeah, it's awesome. I had a goal coming in before the season that I wanted to get first team All-Pro. And so, I worked my butt off, and, I was just happy that it came to fruition.
Well, you are bringing you're bringing everything to the table on the back end of this defense. You got a ton up front and a lot in the middle, man.
100%.
You play the way you did tonight, you're going to be playing beyond just this week, but I know there's a lot to work on and heading into Detroit. I'll let you get to it. I appreciate your time. Good health and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's All-Pro safety, Antoine Winfield. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers move on 32-9 over Philadelphia. Appreciate you very much.
Everybody say yeah!
Hell of a job all the way around. Team win. We got a short week now. Okay, we going up to Motown. Yeah. Tomorrow off. We come back in Wednesday, and we keep it moving. Right? Happy but not satisfied. We still got work to do.
They do have work to do. Coach Ball's work includes celebrating tonight by trying to get 8 hours of sleep.
That's what he said.
You're a maniac, Coach. Baker Mayfield, sensational a couple of games in the wild card round, an upset road win on the road in Pittsburgh when he was the Browns starter. 3 touchdown passes, no picks. Same script tonight, an upset win this time at home, 337 through the air, and 3 touchdowns without a pick. The Eagles season has come to an end. Lane Johnson trying to make sense of it all.
It's very embarrassing when you go from 10-1 to losing the last 6 or 7 or whatever we did. And we've done all the press conferences, we've done all the explaining, trying to, and still not getting corrected. So there's probably going to be some changes. It's frustrating. Hopefully, as long as I'm playing, I don't have to be a part of something like this again. So that's my plan.
Jalen Hurts, just moments ago, to the podium after the 32-9 loss.
Yeah, I don't think, I think for us this year, I just don't think we've played well enough. And play well enough, and the identity, the consistency, the execution for us, the turnovers, everything, all of those come into play when you're talking about having an opportunity to win championships, and it's something we have to be able to learn from. Something we have to be able to learn from.
There was an ESPN report that you weren't happy with the identity of the offense over the last few months of the season. Can you confirm that and give a little more explanation as to why that is?
I think just where we are as a team. We've had a ton of opportunities to do great things, and we haven't taken advantage of them, you know, and I've talked about the ownership of that and me taking ownership for the things that I can control and challenging everyone to take ownership for the things that they can't control. And for us to put the output that we want on the field, obviously have the results that we want and have the opportunities we want, it takes consistency in that. There's no point to identity, no more than execution. The reality is we have to be better, you know, and that starts with me.
The events of Monday mean there will be a new NFC champion again. Seattle, 2013-14, the last repeat. Bucs will head to Detroit to take on the Lions, while the Packers and Niners face off in the Bay. So you get the Sunday afternoon game, and the Packers game will be Saturday night. 10th playoff meeting between the Niners and Green Bay. That is the most of any two teams all time, and they just started playing back in like '95.
That's right.